yes, get away from this blackness. And it's like, okay. In this case, we're not talking about siblings. What's the next closest thing to that, like, sibling relationship? It's the cousin. There's always that one cousin that you're really close to, that you grow up with, that you share all your secrets with, that becomes your best friend, that you think they have your best interest at heart. And at one point, they actually did. You know for a fact that they actually did love you at one point. You know what I mean? But it's just like, out of nowhere, it, like, switches. When did you stop liking me? Like, when did you start hating me? When did you start feeling some type of way about me? You know what I mean? So, I guess, let's get into this expose phase. I don't even know where to get started with this, because this is the same girl. Mind you, the age gap is that I'm almost 3 years older. 3 years older. Let's just say, round that up. I'm 3 years older than her, and tell me why this is the same person. When I used to do recycle with Daka before that was even a thing. Like, I used to make dresses out of trash bags. I used to make dresses out of newspapers. You know what I mean? Like, just messing around and having fun. I used to do makeup and practice makeup on her, and I used to make her as my model for the dresses that I would do for the makeup. I would take her to my friend who had a camera and who could take pictures of her. She wanted to do modeling, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like trying to help her. Like, you know what I mean? Where I can start off by saying I've ever been wrong in that relationship or anything I've ever done wrong was that when I was a kid, I was pretty forceful. Like, I was pretty forceful. Like, say, for example, if I know that you can get something, you have to get it. Like, you have to get it. Like, no, let's get it. Let's get it because you can get it. You can have that, so let's get that. Don't you want that? And that was, like, me, like, living through people. Because as a kid, I was fat. I was, like, not attractive. So if I see somebody who is and who can get something, I'm like, yo, do that shit. You know what I mean? But that's wrong. That's wrong to live with people. So I do want to say I am sorry for that, because I was just like a little bit like always like thinking that I knew best. Like always kind of like jumping on the idea before I knew that somebody was like okay with it or not okay with it. Regardless if somebody liked it or not, I'm like, no, you're gonna like it. Like, what's gonna happen? Yeah, like that was wrong. But nothing I've ever done in our relationship, because like that's the biggest thing I've ever done. The biggest thing I've ever done, right? Nothing that has transpired in our relationship and throughout the course of our relationship has was a cause for her to end up being the person that she ended up being to me. You feel me? Alright, so this is how we grew up. I have a grandma who's still alive. She's bedridden. She's been bedridden for years. She can't talk. She gets fed through a tube, like, all that. But my grandma, like, growing up, my grandma is dark skin. She's a dark skinned Dominican woman who did not like her dark skin, who hated her dark skin, who hated anything regarding that topic. You know what I mean? So when she would see something, we don't have many, like, light-skinned people in my family, like, really, like, white, like, light. So the people that were really light in my family really made her happy, really made her smile, like, yes, get away from this blackness. And it's like, okay, so say for example, I had something and I'm about to share with my cousin. Like, regardless, you don't have to tell me. Like, I'm going to share that without her asking me, just because I want you to have some of this what I'm having. Before I could even share, my grandma was like, give her some, make sure you give her some, make sure you, and I'm like, yo, relax. And I'm just like, ew, like, relax. Like, because I was gonna give her some regardless, so relax. Like, ew. Anyways, so the point I'm trying to make is that, like, she was very coddled. She was very pedestalized by my self-hating grandmother. And I feel like it kind of, like, boosted her ego. Like, it kind of made her think that just because she was white, like, this is the conclusion I came to, like, years later. Like, I feel like that kind of, like, warps her mentality to think that she would be better received than me. You know what I mean? But like, as we grew up, she saw that that was not the case. So my grandma is definitely to blame for the fact that she ever, like, for the fact that she, has developed that mentality. Whether it's subconsciously, whether she consciously is aware of it, that, that definitely plays a huge role in how things ended up being, in my opinion. So, yeah, so this is the same person who I would, if I'm going out to eat, I'm buying you something. If we're going to Dunkin' Donuts, I'm getting you a donut, I'm getting you coffee, cause her mom would, like, only have enough for, like, you know what I mean, the bills. Like, and if that, you know what I mean? And not to put my aunt on the line like that, but it's just, like, things were tough. So it's just, like, I would have a little more leeway because I would have my lunch money and I would, like, save it up and, like, I would have to, like, go to Dunkin' Donuts and sometimes go to, like, Dallas barbecue and stuff like that. And I would go with her and I would pay for her. And there were times where I would go with her and I would think that she finally had the money to pay for her half. And no, it will be left on me. Or if not, I would leave the money for my part and then she would dine and dash for her part. And this is the same girl who ended up who grew up to call me a bum. Because I don't have because I don't have a traditional job, cause you know what I mean? Cause I'm not a certain place in life at my age. Whatever the reason was that she called me that. Maybe it was because I called her trailer trash because, word got back to me that she was talking about me, smear campaign shit. And that's what I said in retaliation. And it wasn't even retaliation. It was just like, whatever, bitch. Cause like, you know what I mean? Just whatever, some whatever shit. But, yeah, it's crazy that that's the same person who grew up to call me a bum. The same person that when we were gonna go smoke weed and I had money for my weed or, I had money for my part of the weed, like $5. Your $5, you will give it to me in quarters. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that because we all go through it. Me too. But you cannot, you're the last person. The last person who can call anybody a bum with the circumstances you grew up in. The last person who can call anybody a bum. So I would, especially with what you saw your mother go through growing up. And this is the same person who, in the heat of a moment, sent me a text message. If I can find it in my old phone, I will read it to you. This is the same person who sent me a message because I cut her off once I peeped game and saw who she was becoming to me. She called me, she basically said that I have mommy issues. This is the same girl that I would watch her mom beat her ass like this. Her mom had her hair, grabbed her hair, beat her ass because she didn't want to go home yet. Your mom told me your mom said you look like a whore because you had eyeliner on. Trust me, I don't think I'm the only one with mommy issues here. And thank God, I've healed my shit. And I'm on the constant uprise and on the constant breakthrough, like always working on my relationship with my mother. Even if it's just praying to God that it gets better. So, you should be the last person talking about mommy issues with the shit that you go through. So let's also start there. What else? Yeah, this is a person who every time, like, there was, like, a good love option for me. Like, say for example, I meet a guy, this guy takes me out, this guy takes me out on a nice date. I'm sorry, I'm, like, trying to find all the words, trying to get all the key points, but, like, this guy takes me out on nice dates, treats me really nice, everything's going really well. This is the same person who would not say anything about, like, oh yeah, you should continue with him, or, oh yeah, I like him for you. No. But when a guy who I know, like, just acquaintance-wise or, like, neighbor-wise, cause you know what I mean? Any other guy, like, say, for example, this guy has been to prison. This guy is, like, not a good example. Not somebody that you would want somebody to be with. Want somebody that you care for to be with. she's like, you should be with him. You should give him a chance. To the worst guys. But when there's a guy in my life who's a good option, nothing to say. So, this is that same girl. Who ended up smearing me. Ended up turning people against me because you know how I told you, like, my sister would bring me around her friends, or I would come around her friends, and they would, like, already be on guard with me? Yeah, it was the same situation with her. I would come around her friends, and before she introduced me to the friends, or before I would come around them, she would say, like, oh, she's really shy. She might not talk, but she's just really shy. And I come around, and, like, the friend acts like I her mother. The friend acts like I did, like I stole her life savings, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, that is beyond being shy. That's beyond being shy. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, you told her something, you did something. And again, none of this would come to me at the moment, but like, it was just like, later on, like, everything just started adding up. Like, it was just too many things smacking me in the face for me to not know what was going on. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sick that I'm getting through this. We're so relieved, bitches. So, yeah, I'm like, and then I would see that my brother, like, first of all, my older brother, who, he's like what, like 15 years older than me, 14, 15 years older than me, him and his family, they start hanging out with my cousin, like, frequently. Like, where did this closeness come from? And then, it came to a point where she had told me that they paid for her to go to DR, and they know that I've never been to DR before. It came to a point that they took her to Six Flags. I've never been to Six Flags. How do you take her to Six Flags? Like, how did this closeness ensue? And mind you, the whole time she knew my relationship with my brother. How he hurt me, how he, you know, basically, like, was also bully vibes. You know what I mean? So, and how I felt that he never loved me and all that. She knew that. And it's like, she started getting close to them, to the people who, you know what I mean, hurt me, and started going on trips. Like, and then I started realizing, like, you know what? Like, I feel like what she was trying to do with that is trying to make it seem like, look, your brother loves me more than he loves you. Your brother treats me better than he treats you. Yeah, I'm like, sorry, you're not. Like, you know what I mean? Type of vibes. That's what it was giving. Like, it was just, you're doing too much weird shit for me to, like, for this to not, like, come to my attention at one point in time. You know what I mean? At some point in time. But when I cut her off, I didn't say nothing, and it's like, she kept reaching out to me. She, like, whether it was directly out to me, or telling my sister that I'm fake, and, like, for not talking to her, or, like, talking to other family members, saying that I just cut her off, and she doesn't know what happened, and I'm fake for not, like, talking about it, or, like, whatever, and having a conversation about it. And it's like, I know that the reason why she wanted me to, like, confront her, so she could basically make me feel like I was crazy for thinking what I was thinking, or for realizing what I was realizing. Like, so she can kind of be able to, like, manipulate the situation and kind of be able to see, like, how much is it that I truly know? You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'm not even gonna give you the chance to do that. I'm not even gonna give you the opportunity to do that. I'm gonna remove you. And I have to make a video about the dreams, cause I started having so many dreams before and after the betrayal of these people, my sister, my brother, and my cousin. I had dreams before and after the betrayal. So I'm definitely gonna do a video about that. And you can look up the meaning of those dreams. I'm not over here trying to lie about anything. I'm not over here trying to smear anybody's name. I'm over here just like, it started off with a video, like, of me talking about my sister, like, that whole TikTok combination that I watched. It just got me into, like, wanting to talk about this. Like, say, for example, if somebody told me a secret, and somebody also told my cousin that secret, or my cousin just happened to know that secret as well, but we didn't find out at the same time, or she doesn't know that I know, she would kind of, like, try to bait it out of me. And I saw it right then and there. Like, I would see what she was trying to do. Like, she was trying to get me to say the secret. She was trying to get me to say the secret. So that way she could probably turn me against the people. Like, oh, you know, she told me that that you told her this? No, I'm not snitching. I'm not snitching. You're gonna have to find out for yourself. I know exactly what she was doing. And there would be times I had a relationship. Around 2014-ish. And it would just be weird shit because, like, why do you and my boyfriend, like, text each other? Like, even though I was, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was not the best in that relationship, but, like, why are you guys texting each other back and forth? Why are you telling him my whereabouts? Like, when me and her, say, for example, if my boyfriend at the time picked me and her up, she would tell me not to tell her boyfriend. Like, she wouldn't tell that who she's still with to this day. She would tell me, like, oh, but don't tell we're in his car. Like, cuando viene a ver, she was doing something with my boyfriend at the time. Like, cause why do you have these conversations with him? Like, how did you even start talking to him? Like, how did you even get his number? Like, that was weird. Anyways. And, like, I should have seen how competitive she was. Like, I started to see, like, she's the type of person, like, she has to be the most, like, her and my sister, they're the type of people who, like, they want to be the one that people like the most. They, like, you know what I mean? Like, if they know that somebody might like you better than they might like them, they're gonna dirty your name before you get to that person. Like, they're the type of people who try to get to somebody before you can get to them and tell them what happened. They try to get to people first. You know what I mean? So that way, whatever they say, that's what it really was. You know what I mean? Type shit. It's just like, I know I seem like I'm all over the place, but it's just like, so much has transpired throughout the course of so many years that it's like, I don't know what point I want to make. I don't know what's the main story. I don't know what. I'm just like saying everything that happened. You know what I mean? Or not even everything. I'm not even saying everything. Not for my brother, not for my sister, and not for this one. I haven't even said everything. Like, probably in each video, I gave you like 30 to 60, no, 30 to 40% of the pie, because there's just so much chunks that I just like wasn't in my head, basically. So, I should have seen how competitive she was, because first of all, the man that she has today, who she's still with to this day, she's been with since high school, right? This guy was in a relationship with a girl, and she was pursuing this guy. Like, she would go to his school to pick him up from school, like, you know, like, just pick me ass shit. Like, I should have knew she was like a pick me. I should have knew she was a pick me. Her and my sister. Pick me girl. So she would go to his school to pick him up, knowing he had a girlfriend, like, just getting in basically homeworking, doing whatever. Basically trying to TYB, trying to take somebody else's man. Cool. I know that she was competitive with that. Not right then and there, just like, you know, like, when everything was all said and done. What else? And this is another way that I know that she was competitive. Like, I realized that at the end, though. We have this cousin who lives in Boston, who's my same age. She was born a day before me. She, out of nowhere, she mentioned, you know, I'm very insecure of that. She told me basically that she was insecure that the inner parts of her life, like, you know, the bikini area, that it was darker. And she was like, Roselis is light. She was like, Roselis, like, she doesn't have it dark down there. So basically, okay, now I see it. You compare yourself. This is the comparative mindset. Okay, I should have seen that right then and there. And then sorry, the camera cut off. So that's a whole other thing I should have seen weird. Once it was getting to the point where I was gonna cut, when I was like getting close to cutting her off, when I was like realizing everything for what it really was, there was this one time, this really solidified everything for me, and I'm like, no, this bitch is weird. She told me, oh, I went to my boyfriend, she told me she went to her boyfriend's aunt, who does tarot, who does readings, and she said, oh, Edgar's aunt did a reading on you. I want you to see it. I want you to hear it. Like, some weird shit like that. Like, the fuck? Why are you going to your boyfriend's aunt to do readings on me? Why are you going to your boyfriend's aunt? Why are you looking into my life? Why are you trying to look into my life? You're weird. You're weird. That's when I know it is. I don't know how she didn't feel weird saying that out loud. Like, did you not hear yourself how you sounded when you said that? This is the same person who, say for example, there's a secret between me and her. She will say, but don't tell anybody. Like, let's keep this between us. Okay. Say, this is the same person who would always break that and say, oh, I told this person. I told this person. So the secret is just according to you. So only you, have control of when we could just start saying each other's shit, right? Okay. This is the same girl that when we were kids started, like, we would watch, like, the Spice Channel together, right? And one time I remember we went into the bathroom together and, we went to play this novela, first of all. She thought of the name Luis Miguel. And I was just like following her lead. I'm just like, I don't even know what we're doing in the bathroom. I don't even know how we got in the bathroom. I don't know whose idea it was to go in the bathroom. But we're in the bathroom. And then there was like this scene, whatever. It was kind of like an improv thing that we were doing. And then she opened the shower curtain. And it was like part of the scene. And she's like, look at all these photos, whatever. And I don't know. I don't remember the storyline. But like, it was like weird like that. And then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like, she knew about some sexual shit. Like, I don't know if somebody did something to her as a kid, but she introduced me. She's younger than me, and she introduced me to sexual things, if you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. And you would think, like, because I'm the one that's older by 2 years, like, I should know better, I should do better. Yeah, but, like, also, like, I didn't know what I was doing either. I was just going with it. I was just going with the flow. I'm learning new things. Like, I've never even seen that before. I've never done that before. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you learn that? The only reason I said that I think that she might have gotten something with that when she was younger is because every time the topic of break would come up, she would laugh. Like, why are you laughing at that? Especially, I mentioned a topic to her, like a subject, story, whatever, to her regarding that topic, and she laughed. Like, that was her reaction. Or, in general, when the topic would come up, she would laugh. So I feel like there's something weird with that. I don't know. You know what I mean? Even watching the Spice Channel. So, and this is the same person who told me to keep that a secret, and then years later ends up telling her boyfriend, like, oh, I told him about that. And I'm like, okay. Like, not even that it's a big deal to me, but it's just like knowing now who she is, or who she was, because I cut her off years ago. Knowing now who she was to me, I'm like, I don't even trust that, because who knows what you ended up saying. You probably said that I started that shit when it was you who introduced that to me. So I don't know. Part of that made me feel like something happened to her as a kid, like somebody touched her or something like that. I don't know. Maybe. Anyways, also told me that my brother told her. She said that my brother said, I don't even know why you hang out with her. And she said that my brother was talking about how fat my cousin from Boston is. Just, like, why are you hanging out with him? If he's talking about us like that, and we're closer to you than you are to him, because where did this closeness come from? Why are you still hanging out with him? Why are you so comfortable letting him talk shit about us like that? Weird. So there's just a lot that has transpired. There's obviously more, but I feel like this is a good place to start. And there's like, once I started losing weight, like, say for example, if I have my hair done, she'll be like, "Oh, you have your extensions on today? I didn't know you were gonna wear your extensions." Oh, what does that have to do with anything? And why is that the first thing that you notice? Like, you see me, that's the first thing you notice? Like, that's weird. Like, what the fuck? What? Anyway, that's weird. Lilith in the first house, I have it in Gemini. And what is Gemini rule? Gemini rules siblings. Gemini rules, also cousins as well. So, there you have it with that. I also have Mercury square Neptune, 1 degree. Yeah, I believe I have it at 1 degree. So, there's where the slander comes from. So, that's kind of like what, like, makes me, like, make sense of it all. Like, like, oh yeah, like, things like that are a possibility in my life. Like, okay, like, I see that. Okay. But yeah, it all makes sense to me. It all makes sense, but it's just crazy because it caught me so off guard. And it just led me, like, all these people, like, just showing me their true colors just led me into this period of isolation where I don't trust nobody. Like, I can't trust you motherfuckers. I can't trust nobody. Like, nobody. So, but we're stepping out of that. Like, I've been stepping out of that, but, like, for real, like, to the point where, like, now I'm, like, ready to talk about everything I've been through. For somebody, whether they're younger than you or older than you, people in your own family can be jealous of you. People in your own family can be evil, and the whole time they're making you look like you're the evil one. Like, you're the bad one. Like, you did something. That's crazy.